Let's talk about Resident Evil though. We got a showcase for that this week, mainly focused. Well, it was a split focus really on Village and Resident Evil 4. Everyone was there for Resident Evil 4 though, of course.
I was about to say it was split between things like three weirdos cared about and the rest of us cared about.
Precisely. I think really funny though. This live stream was hosted by the Duke from Village, so like he's just talking in the background, like, "Oh, you're here for information, I see. Well, why don't you come on over this way, and I've got some for you." Like you never see him. Like it's just like a first person perspective, like in a library, I believe, in Castle Dimitrescu, and you just hear him narrating and talking as you're like looking around. It was weird and funny, but it worked. It worked for what they were going here for here. Um, I'll get through the village stuff and the other stuff that's not Final Fantasy 4. I mean, not Final Fantasy, Resident Evil 4 very quickly. Started off with the new trailer for the Village DLC, the Winter's expansion. I believe it's called, I think it's just called Winter's expansion. Um, Basically, get another look at it, seeing more gameplay and all like that. It seems cool. And they did clarify that although they're adding a third person mode to the base game as well, you still can't see Ethan's face. I wonder how it was. I didn't play. There was a demo for the third person mode for Resident Evil Village that was available, I think, like
I didn't
only
play.
for a day. I didn't play it either. It's only 60 minutes long. Hope it was fun. I heard that it really kind of like does change the game though, and is kind of like playing a completely different game. So interesting choice there.
I genuinely might like it more. I think I mean I don't my problems with Village. I hate Metroidvania. Not I don't hate all Metroidvania games, but man, there's some games where I just feel like it's super unnecessary. But like it might have been less tedious in third person.
That makes sense.
Where it's just like the horror vibes meet Metroidvania was with the first person stuff was kind of like, all right, man, I'm just like, okay, I guess. Whereas it's like I'm more used to it in third person. I may have been like, I'll tolerate it to get to the parts that I potentially enjoy. So maybe I would have actually gone further with a third person mode. So maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah. Uh, then there's Resident Evil Reverse, the multiplayer game that was announced long ago and kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. That returned again with the gameplay trailer. It's going to be free for anyone who has Village. There are going to be updates for it post launch, so it'll be adding characters and maps and other stuff, which is cool. And they also reiterated, that Village is coming to Mac and Switch via the cloud. And also Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 will be coming to Switch via cloud. And they also threw out a tidbit out there when they said this, that you don't got to worry about storage space or download times when you're playing. You can just focus on the gameplay when you're playing it on the cloud. It's just like, I mean, I got to focus on my internet speed being up to snuff for that, making sure that doesn't drop. So, there's that to worry about while I play. But sure, I can just focus on the gameplay. Storage space and download times are my concern. Really weird to
Listen,
see.
man, like I said, mentioning things that three weirdos were really excited about.
Yeah, specific, especially that cloud stuff. The weirdos out there
That's what I'm
super
saying.
excited for
Like
that.
somebody out there was like, yes, finally.
I can do it at long last. But no, the one thing that we were all here for, that they knew we were here for, was Resident Evil 4. And they did not disappoint in the slightest bit. This gameplay that we got to see, we got a nice 5.5 minute chunk of just raw gameplay, followed up by a nice like 2.5 minute story trailer and all. Resident Evil 4 is looking absolutely fantastic. Tyler,
Yeah.
what are you thinking?
Uh, I'm thinking, first of all, I just had to mention this, but I want to let you through your rundown. Things, folks, this is what happens when you skip the rundown. I didn't know, and when you also don't watch events live, didn't know it was hosted by the Duke. Forget who that guy even is from the Village. That's how little I was like Village in
He's
and out of my
the
head.
really big guy who sells you things.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. Remember him. So yeah, things you find out when you're just like, oh, I saw stuff about Village and my eyes glazed over and I scrolled down and I didn't read that at all. So I was like, oh, okay. Cool, I guess. But no, Resident Evil 4 looks awesome. I 4 is one of the games I didn't play. Luckily the way it worked out, when I was like a teenager is by the time 5 rolled around, I was able to finagle my parents at the time I was like 13, 14 to buy me an M-rated game. And then me and my friend Devin, we just like beelined it for a weekend. He stayed over and we just like went through all of 5. So that was like my intro into Resident Evil. And despite people's like, I don't like five, I'm actually enjoy five because of that memory.
Nice,
But I've never
nice.
played four, know the legacy. And it was one of those things as it got older, it was like, you're supposed to play it because it's just how important it is, but it's also like, it's old now. And despite them, to Capcom's credit, it's like out on everything. Talking about Resident Evil earlier, all the poor access to it. I mean, they've got it on Quest, they've got it on PlayStation 5,
Right.
4, 3, it's on everything. Um, but it was still just like, do I want to play it? I will obviously play this. And maybe afterwards that'll spur the like, oh, let's go back, let's compare. Because this does like everything that two looked like to improve. Obviously on the original two, this same goes here. It just looks like what you expect a remake to look like and
Yeah.
feel like.
Yeah, I've never played Resident Evil 4. My first Resident Evil game to play is 7. I played, the demo for Village and I enjoyed that. But, not a survival horror person, so I've never been into it. But I've always understood the legacy of 4 and I've always known that it was such a big deal, such an important game with, the third person view, the third person over the shoulder view, and what that then brought to the industry as at large and everything like that. Um, and just how this game was a shift in terms of tone and gameplay to an extent for Resident Evil as a series and all like that. How it started to bring more action into the series, which culminated in 6, which people were like, no, 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 too much, too much, too much. We don't like this.
Yeah, to be
Uh,
clear, I didn't play 6 because those reviews came out and they were immediately like, this game sucks. And I was like, 5 was good. I'll die on that hill. Not really, but I was like, 5 was good. I don't need 6. Apparently it went too far.
well, you're not alone in liking in 5. There's a fair chunk of people out there that like 5. It's the 6, the 6 people. The people out there that like 6, they're the ones on their
I do
island
know there's some
alone.
sickos out there that are like, hey, 6, not that bad. And everyone's like, no, stop it.
Those are the ones on their island alone out there. Like there are dozens of us. We're here.
There, yeah.
But no, yeah, 4 looks amazing. And like I've wanted to play 4 for a while, the original version, and just haven't gotten around to it. And watching this is really making me think to myself, like, man, do I even play the original first before I play this? Or do I play this first and then the original? And I think if I do play the original at any point in time, I might do it first before this, because I think for me personally, it might be difficult to go back to the original after playing this newer version with like the new gameplay additions that this brings to the game. Because in the original
Right.
4, you couldn't move and shoot at the same time. You were stuck standing still. This one here, you're able to move and shoot at the same time. So like just a simple change like that, being able to have parries with your gun or your knife as an option, as something you can do, which wasn't in the first one. Like changes like that, I wonder if I'll go back to the original and be like, oh man, it sucks to play this now after having played a better version of it. So that's my push and pull right now, in addition to getting over the survival horror aspect of things. But I'm looking forward to it. This looks amazing, and that I love that they showed the village attack when you first get into the village at the very start of the game, and then the whole town just comes after you. Like that's an iconic moment in Resident Evil 4, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like an iconic moment in gaming history right there, like that part of the game. Like I always know about that part, and I never played it, but I think I saw a friend of mine play the demo for the original 4, and so I remember witnessing this happen myself and being like, "Oh man, that's intense. That's
You were
intense. The
just that
chainsaw's coming after you."
you were that once upon a time in Hollywood meme where he's just like
Like,
pointing at it. You're like, yep, that's it. I
here we
remember
go.
that.
Here we go. It's happening. No, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not the person to be like, oh, well, here's the comparison. Like you said, never played it. But I definitely am looking forward to play it. And I mean, like 2023, we talked about it last week, stacked. So looks
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, let's go. I love hype. I like being excited about things. 2023, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Again, I said it on Twitter, between this, Callisto Protocol, Dead Space, and Silent Hill, like I think I'm starting to become more of a survival horror person. I'm starting to become more interested in it. I don't know. I
How
don't know what it's
people
doing to
got
me.
into it. Good games were actually released.
There you go. Exactly. That's what's happening. Well, we can't say yet. Callisto Protocol is a start. Hopefully it ends
That's
up being
true.
good. Dead Space, we can imagine it will at least be as good as the original game. at a bar quality level, you would imagine. They're remaking
Yeah.
it, so
I mean,
it
it's
can only
EA,
be
so
it should only be as good as the original. Callisto Protocol hopefully lives up. Resident Evil 4 remake looking like it's going to. Looking like it's going to. Just real quick little details. There is a deluxe edition for Resident Evil 4. It's $70. The base game is $60. It has an extra DLC pack that has costumes and treasure maps and stuff. There is a free upgrade from PS4 to PS5. They didn't say anything about smart delivery, interestingly enough, but perhaps there is. Well, actually, no, there wouldn't be smart delivery because there's no Xbox One version of this game. I forgot about that. I don't get why there's not, but
I was thinking, I
there
was like,
isn't.
wait, did we skip that somehow?
No, it is crazy because even as I thought about it, I was like, man, I wonder why there's no smart delivery for this. Duh, there's no Xbox One version. That's still weird to me that there's a PS4 version, but not an Xbox One version. And there is a collector's edition as well as $250. It's physical only, has a nice figure of Leon, art book, soundtrack, and a bunch of other things. You can go pre-order the game now. It's cool. Looks awesome. Looks fantastic. Gonna be a great time when it comes out. March 24th, 2023. That date sounds
Yeah,
right in my head.
first half of 2023 specifically stacked.
Ending March ending the first half. The first quarter.
Quarter.
Yeah, ending that first
Yeah.
quarter on
But the
a
first half in
high
general
note.
just stacked.
From what we know, gonna be a
Yeah.
crazy one.
If obviously if they all meet dates or
No delays or anything like that. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed.